All right, guys, welcome back to the Bogetti Bunch podcast, where me and Bronte sit down and air out all of our grievances. This is our bi-weekly marriage counseling. It's getting pretty heated out here. She's pregnant, so we may have to go to a weekly counseling session with you guys.
Yeah, make it weekly soon. We should come up with something like where you just said, "Welcome to the podcast," where Bronte and I sit down and. We should come up with like a funny line.
It's marriage counseling. Yeah, it is definitely marriage counseling. Oh, wait, before we start.
What?
I forgot that we were going to talk about this. So, one of my close friends, Jim Braun, you know what they say, when you have friends like this, you don't need enemies, decided to send a pile of rubber ducks. If you heard that on your mics, I'm sorry. Careful, that's probably pretty loud, but...
I was trying to spread them out.
I know.
Look.
I don't know how many it is. What was it, 100
so
or something?
they're joining us today. All these little duckies.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many it is, but...
is this going to trigger you? Like, is this going to get you heated? Probably.
I kind of go by the Hulk line. They're like, what is your secret to not being angry? And he's like, I'm always angry. So, like, I don't get more angry, but I can always use the anger.
Cooper is really so emotionally stable. My mom always says that. She's like, what does Cooper think? Because he's the emotionally stable one.
He's calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the wall here, I got a couple rubber ducks.
Yeah, but this was really funny. We were at the Freedom Factory, and I went and met you there, and then I came home early, and there was an Amazon package and it said Cooper spaghetti. And I was like, okay, I'm going to open this because obviously Cooper didn't buy this. So who sent this? And I opened it up. I just started dying. And then when Cooper came, I filmed his reaction to send to our friends because it was just so funny. We were dying. And this was a good gag gift.
Quite a good prank. I don't know exactly what to do with them yet. Maybe give them out to Jeep people. Pretend I'm part of that crowd. I don't know. Especially give them out to undeserving Jeep people.
I just had an idea. You know what's called, when the Jeeps do this thing, it's called You Got Ducked.
Oh, I know.
You know?
I know what it's called.
We didn't talk about that. So maybe we should try and be a part of that community and, duck people. Maybe there will be some enjoyment we can get out of it. Maybe it'll be a great experience and maybe it'll change our perspective on this Jeep duck thing. What do you think?
Unlikely that I will change my opinion on it. I think it's a horrible trend, and I think that if your windshield of your Jeep looks like a child having a bath time, then you need to figure your life out.
These will come. We're gonna have ducks or than that. We should keep it for our baby.
If your happiness is derived from a plastic duck made in China, then you got some problems. That one did it for you.
This one. He's so cute.
There's a square one too. The square ones are kind of funny.
That one's cool.
Yeah.
We saw a Jeep.
It's been getting bad.
We saw a Jeep yesterday. I was craving a McFlurry, so we went to McDonald's, and right behind us, this white Jeep pulls in. Should I show the camera for people who are watching? There was the entire windshield.
If you're watching, it was like this. It was like they bought this box.
Because I feel like most people do watch.
It's like having 50 ducks just across your windshield. They couldn't see. There's no shot they could see. They could not see out their windshield with this ducks.
Is that going to mess up if it focuses?
No, it's fine.
Okay, well, it's not focusing, but you just
the camera is set to not focus very much because...
Oh, really?
It kills it gets overheated if it focuses too much.
Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 ducks. Yeah.
No, it's a problem. And people get offended when I talk bad about it. They're like, oh, people are just having fun. Let them live their lives. No. I don't.
Simply no.
No, your fun sucks.
Find a different kind of fun.
Get a better hobby. Jesus.
Oh, God.
Go argue with people on Twitter like I do.
Yeah. That's your fun hobby. This is their fun hobby. I just genuinely worry that it's a hazard.
No, it's definitely a hazard.
Like a distraction and seeing. I mean, it doesn't. That one was ridiculous. Where it's like, is that making your vision look a little differently in the windshield? I don't know. Obviously, you could still see mostly out your windshield, but it's definitely. I mean, if you turn and your ducks go flying, like, and then you're like, oh.
There was a guy that I was messaging with yesterday on where we were commenting back and forth. It was across his windshield, and then under it had LEDs, so they lit up at night.
Oh my God.
That has to be a hazard.
Yeah.
LEDs on your windshield?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Figure it out.
All right. Well, should we go more about the ducks or something?
No,
else?
aside about the ducks. One thing that I saw yesterday on, well, I guess Twitter is now X. Mm-hmm. Spent a lot of time on Twitter lately, on X.
Cooper's trying to build his X following.
Yeah, go.
That's so weird.
Go follow. I'm trying to get to 10K. I feel like if I got to 10K, I'd feel important.
What are you at
And
now?
I need life validation. I got like 1,100.
Okay. Got a little ways to go.
Yeah, I'm like 10% there.
Yeah.
But I'm working towards it. But
And
the other day I saw this post, and it's actually something, I like Taco Bell, but I think they deserve this. They are getting sued for false advertising because their pictures look so different than what you actually get.
That's so true.
And all fast food should get sued for this.
Yeah. Oh my God, I don't eat McDonald's burgers, but like they show it's like a big juicy like bunch of stuff, and then you literally just get like the thinnest patty with some pickles on it.
I'm here for it. I think they should get a lawsuit.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's going to be really sad when their pictures on their wall show what a real crunch wrap looks like.
Yeah, no one's going to want that.
No one's going to buy anything.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to figure something out.
We were talking about Taco Bell the other day, and I like it because it's something different. I feel like most of the fast food places are burgers, fries, like in that sense it's cool that it's like a Mexican fast food. But I did say I like it. I don't know if I enjoy the food though. Like every time you get something from there, it smells like dog food, does it not? Every time you get a Taco Bell bag, it smells like dog food.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's definitely an accurate depiction.
But like their cheese quesadilla, pretty good.
But I'll still shovel them into my mouth like they're like somebody's trying to take them away from me.
For sure. Like it's good, but it's not. I don't know how to describe it. And it's something different, which I like that.
I like when I leave a fast food place and they don't know how many people are in the car. They're like, did he just order for 6 or for 1? Sometimes
order 12 tacos.
I like to order more than 1 drink to make it seem like it's not just me. Like if you order
don't do that. What are you talking about?
If I'm by myself, I'll order 2 drinks to make it seem like I'm ordering for 2 people. Or like I'm ordering and I'm like, oh, and she'll have, even though I'm the one eating both these meals, I make it seem like there's 2 people. Yeah. Or I'm picking something up for someone else.
Yeah, or you get insecure about all the food you're eating.
Yeah, even like when I eat something at home and it says like family sized. And I'm like, well, this is just, a snack for me. Like, I don't like getting shamed like this.
Yeah.
Like putting family sized on something I'm just going to eat in one sitting is
I feel like
wrong.
A lot of the time too, because especially with, chips per se. You get a regular bag of chips and it's like this big, but there's only a 1/4 amount of chips actually in it.
Mm-hmm.
So like a family size bag is probably like a normal serving for one person.
Yeah.
Because they barely put any chips in it.
There's 2 of them.
I like those little ones.
The ones that don't look like rubber ducks.
You should give this one to Jessie. She will love it.
The ones that don't look like rubber ducks she likes.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if they lose this lawsuit.
Yeah, how did we get on this topic? Because you were talking about X.
I saw about Taco Bell on Twitter. Some people were saying that Twitter's like bad place where there's a lot of like racism and stuff. I haven't seen any of it, which I'm perfectly fine with if that's on the app. I think my opinion on it is racism out in the open is better because you know exactly who to distrust. It's not hidden. Like if you're like, oh, that guy's racist, I don't like him, is better than like being secret about it.
That's an interesting point that I've never thought about. I don't think it's good to put out there, but yeah, I guess if you're seeing someone post that, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna follow this person.
Yeah, rather than just out themselves.
Yeah, but it's still bad. Just not.
Of course it's bad.
Yeah.
But it's nice to just know exactly who to distrust right away.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
Yeah. And there's also been a lot of UFO testimony stuff. I like the whole debate on UFO stuff. Have you seen any of that?
No, but I saw a TikTok recently, and it was something about comedians talking about the aliens, and I meant to show you. I don't know if I could say it right now, but it was so funny.
Interesting. It's so bad that you can't say it on the podcast, even though they've already said it online. Who was it?
I don't know who it was. It was the TikTok, and they were talking about the aliens and how they were like, you know, what if we're like ants to aliens? You know, like they're so highly intelligent that, you know, like we don't try to communicate with ants.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's what they're like to us. And then they said something along the lines of, like he was like, oh, the aliens come down and say, like, what if the aliens come down and are like, men and women of Earth, but then you have people going, I'm not a woman.
Yeah. Really confused the aliens.
Like it was something along, I gotta show you after.
No, that would be fun
funny.
to cancel the aliens right off the kick.
Like us humans just being like,
well,
I'm not a woman.
We do this thing as humans where we think that we're very important or special. And like the aliens want to come down and like talk to us for our profound knowledge on human existence.
But what if they're not as intelligent as us?
That's a very human belief to be like, we're probably smarter.
No, I'm
like
not.
We're probably. I think that that's not an uncommon thing.
I'm in the middle. I'm like they could be way more intelligent than us, or what if they're not even as close?
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance of that, but if they got here, it's pretty unlikely that they're not smarter than us.
True.
But in my community, I like the opposite side of it, that they're like, the aliens don't exist. They're distracting us from something. They're just the government's just using all of this as a distraction, so we're not paying attention to something else going on.
Oh, I've heard things
something
like
else
that
more
before.
important. They're like, yeah, pay attention to something else.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you got me. Like, I was sitting here thinking about aliens, and you're over here
While this was going on.
trying to take over Antarctica from the penguins.
Oh, poor penguins.
Move them out.
Oh.
I was going to say something that might get me in trouble, but yeah, I just went for Antarctica. That's a very safe continent. Nobody has any vested interest in Antarctica.
Yeah.
There's no one there to worry about besides like 20 researchers.
Wait, am I being silly, or is it in Antarctica where the polar bears are?
No, that's in the northern hemisphere.
Isn't that where Antarctica is?
No, it's in the southern. It's on the bottom of the earth.
No, Antarctica is cold.
Yeah. It's on
Isn't it
the
in
bottom
the
of the
north?
earth.
What's up north? What's up north?
The North Pole, but there's not really like a landmass there. Polar bears are mostly in like way northern Canada.
Really? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not much lives
I don't
down on the southernmost tip of the earth, Antarctica. Like very, very few animals even live there.
Like you're telling me Antarctica is below us in
Yeah.
Florida?
Well, I mean, technically, if
Yeah, like you keep going down that way.
well, yeah, if you go straight down, depends on how you look at the earth. Do you believe it's a circle or do you believe it's flat?
I think I believe it's a circle.
You think you believe it's a circle?
Where is
It's on the bottom of the earth.
Arctic.
Unless you're Australian and you believe that you're on the top
South
side of
Pole.
the earth. And the only thing that live there are some penguins. There's no
Okay,
There's no
I see where it
snakes, no
is.
lizards, no reptiles, no mammals, nothing. Just some penguins. But,
I'm not good at geography, so please don't judge me.
Yeah. She doesn't understand if the earth is a circle or flat yet.
Yeah.
Or no, I think technically it's an oblate
What do you
sphere.
think it is?
It's a circle.
Okay.
It's rounded.
I just never understand the ocean thing. How it never like That used to, if you look out at the ocean and it ends at one point, like, why doesn't it go down? Like, you just keep going straight forever.
Well, it does curve. I mean, like a ship disappears on the horizon. Like if a ship just keeps driving away from you straight, like, and you're looking out, it will eventually dip down.
Yeah. True.
Like you can't just use like a telescope and like see a ship endless distance away.
Yeah.
Like I can't just look out across the Atlantic Ocean and see Africa, no matter what telescope I have.
Yeah. Right.
And that's where a lot of the debate comes in with the flat Earth stuff.
Yeah.
Is like, okay, then like show me Africa with a good telescope, because I can see the moon and that's a lot farther away on a telescope.
Right.
So you should be able to see a continent that's on the other side of the Earth. But that's just I don't know. We were talking about aliens, and I think that they're just distracting us. I don't know if the aliens are real, even though I've listened to a lot of people.
You think the government's just distracting us? You don't think it's
They're
real?
definitely distracting us from something. They're always playing an angle. Two things can be true.
I'm surprised you say that because you believe in aliens.
Two things can be true. Aliens can be real, and the timing can be very convenient for a distraction. They call it a psyop.
Yeah.
Psychological.
Do you think we'll ever find, if there was a distraction, do you think we'll ever find out what they were distracting us from?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look back in history, you're like, there's been a lot of distractions. You know, they're always trying to trick us.
Yeah.
It's like a magic show. Like when you look at magic, it's all distracting. They're like, look over here as I do something over here. Like, look over here as I steal your wallet.
Yet I can never figure out how they're doing the trick.
Because they're good at it.
Yeah.
You know, growing up, I used to watch a lot of Chris Angel. Chris Angel was the best.
Yeah.
His street magic. People would freak out on the street.
He's still around, right? Or no?
Yeah, I think he's kind of just like, I think he's probably out in Vegas doing shows like they always do. They have like a residency.
I can picture his face, and I've definitely watched him before, but I can't think of what I watched from him.
He would always do those cool things. And then there was someone else that would always do like the big ones in New York City where they would like 24 hours in ice. Can't think of his name though. David Blaine.
Yes.
David Blaine would always do like 24 hours standing on this pillar in the wind.
Oh my God.
And he would do crazy things like that. It was always kind of fun to see.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it all.
Those kind of freak me out a little bit too much. Like some of those scare me. I like regular magic, but those are just like intense. Like he'll spend like 10 minutes underwater. Like, didn't he do something like that?
He was really Mr. Beast before Mr. Beast.
Yeah. I think there was one where he's like chained up or something underwater.
Yeah.
That's like one of his big ones.
They like drop him chained up and he's like got to try to figure out his way out of it.
Yeah, like that makes me nauseous to watch because you're just like so scared for them.
It was always kind of fun to see though. But like that was like a big thing in like, I don't know why, but like 2010 was just like people sitting on their couch at home want to see magic. They want to see some guy walk up to them with eyeshadow and show them a card
eyeliner.
trick. Oh, they would always have like some eye makeup.
Yeah.
Like, have you slept ever? Like, are you okay?
You look kind of rough over there.
That's how they always kind of looked.
Yeah.
They always had that same weird deal.
Yeah.
So recently we've also been finishing up our Nursery.
Not finishing up. We're just starting.
No, I mean, it's pretty far along now. Like the bones are built out. Like, it's built out.
We painted it and we put up an accent wall and then painted that a different color. All the walls are white and then...
We got new lights put in.
Blue. Yes, we got recent
finished
lighting.
up the closet. We put up the dresser.
The closet really wasn't anything.
Okay, but we did the dresser.
Yeah,
there's really only like one or two things left.
No, we have the chair. I think our chair comes tomorrow, actually.
Okay.
Chair, the crib, that beanbag chair.
Yeah, but those aren't like, you just put most of those things in there. Like, that's just like a chair is just something you like put in.
You gotta set it up.
Yeah, but you just like put it in and plug it in.
Yeah.
Like, it took like 4 hours to build that dresser.
It literally took us, we started at 6 o'clock and ended at 10.
Yeah, I took a little break, but yeah.
Yeah, a little poop break.
Yeah, well, that was a pain in the butt because I was like crouching down the whole time and like putting together IKEA stuff is just...
It was The directions
it's not hard. It's just annoying.
I don't even understand how you understand what's going on because the directions at times were not even helpful. I was like, what? This is supposed to be here. That's left. That's right. Like,
well, I speak Swedish, so that helps.
Yeah. But the dresser looks great. Everything is coming together in there. I'm actually surprised I haven't gotten any messages like, oh, you're doing this so early or something, because I kind of feel like we are. But to me, right now it's summertime, so it's so hot out. So it's nice to do all these indoor activities. Like we'll do like one thing on the weekend or whatever. And then two, I'm like, might as well just slowly start to do it. Like it's just going to be ready for once we get really, because of course we're doing like the bones of it, like the big pieces and whatnot. And then we're just going to have like decorations coming in. We're going to have to organize it. And I feel pretty good right now still, so I want to do things while I feel good because I'm sure towards the end I'm going to feel a little rough again. So I'm already starting, I feel pretty good. I just am having sciatica pain, which is not fun.
Sciatica.
My sciatica hurts.
I mean, it's nice to get it done with. Yeah, so if anybody was wondering, we're at, 20 weeks almost? Mm-hmm. Like right about to be at 20 weeks.
That's halfway.
Yeah, that
Saturday
is halfway.
Is 20 weeks.
So is it early? Maybe. I mean, it's probably not too early to start on it. It's probably a little too early how far along we are. But, like, what, are we going to just leave it a construction zone for a month because it's too early to, like...
Yeah, right.
Like, we just painted it, and then we were like, oh, well... Now we got stuff coming in, so might as well start putting it in there.
Together.
We started to have like things, and we needed a spot to put them all.
Yeah, that too. Like just boxes of things. We're not just gonna leave it in boxes all in the room. But that also, I started our registry around like 14 weeks, I think, and I just kind of finished it. So I took my time, like a month and a few weeks to do it, and now, like if. I'm just thinking back when I started at 14 weeks, I felt like I was doing it so early, but now I'm 20 weeks. I'm like, thank God I did it back then, because now people have been asking me like, oh, I want to send you a gift. Like,
and you were meticulous about that. I heard about everything. They're like, you had like 4...
Cooper. Stop right there.
You had like 12 different pacifiers. You were like, but which one? I'm like, I don't know. Which one do you like?
First off,
and I'm like, that one. And you're like, oh, you like that one? I'm like, you had it on the list. This is your list.
First off, you did not hear about everything. I asked you. Yeah, he's getting in trouble now. I did not ask you about everything. I asked you about like a handful of things, your opinion on. I also gave you the access to the registry to add whatever you wanted. Did you add anything? No. I did all of it, and the handful of things I asked you about, you're going to say is a problem?
It was a lot.
It was not a lot.
It was a lot.
Cooper, I put every item on there. That was a lot. That was stressful. Researching all the things, getting the good things, asking people, looking into things, all that stuff.
A lot of that you did because you wanted to do it.
Of course, because that's exciting.
Okay, so don't make it seem like it was some chore.
You could have done it too, though. You could have found, I told you so many times, like if there's something you like, the only thing you sent me was that wall map. That's not even like a baby item.
Well, I want our son to understand geography, unlike some of us here. Maybe if we get him a map for the wall, he'll know when he gets to be in his late 20s where Antarctica is.
Great. And I wanted to get him a tummy time pillow so that he can become strong. And like, there's different things.
I understand. And so this is what my life has been. Aside from that, I have no idea.
Hold on. Can you please give me at least some credit for what I've done?
You've done a great job.
Yeah.
But also, can I say you've stressed...
No but.
Okay, you've done a great job. Nice? I'll leave it there. Done a fantastic job.
And everything else, how I've been reaching out to brands and working with brands, getting us stuff.
Yeah,
for a
lot. This baby is hoard out, sponsored up. Like we have to actually get, T-shirts that say like the baby's gonna look like a NASCAR driver. brands all up and down the onesie.
It's not true.
Sponsored by you name it.
It's just gifting pretty much that I've gotten. There's one brand for the crib that I more so have like actual requirements to do, and like I signed a contract. But other stuff is just like
Bronte is becoming a full-blown momfluencer.
Yeah, I am.
Do you influence people to have kids as well? Or do you just influence them to spend money once they have kids?
My goal is to be able to get discount codes for moms, for brands, and so that if they want to get something, they can get a discount.
That's very nice.
Because getting stuff for babies is not cheap. And of course, like, I mean, that's part of my job is influencing other people to buy things. And I share things that I have in hopes that other people will purchase. And that's how I promote things for the brand.
Do you consider me an influencer?
Like the discount codes for the baby stuff feels so much more important than just like having a discount code for like a clothing brand. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate it more now.
Because it actually goes farther for people. Yeah, like we were talking about the other day, it's more of a necessity.
Yeah.
Like people need baby stuff. Yeah, you don't need a fifth dress.
Right. And we went to the mall yesterday because I just needed to get out of the house, and we got like a few baby onesies. And, you know, every time I go out, I kind of just look and maybe pick up one thing or two things, whatever. And Cooper's saying, you know, you're like, we don't need that much stuff probably. And it's hard to gauge how much you need, but Cooper's lining up ducks over here.
Yeah.
It's hard to gauge how much you need, but I've heard of people who are like, I've changed my baby sometimes 3 times in one day. So I'm like, okay, it's better to have more clothes than not enough, I feel like. And I don't feel like we have a crazy amount right now, so I'm just picking stuff up. But along with that, I'm like, you know, if we have stuff that we end up not using, it's going to feel good to be able to give it to someone, or of course, like save it for our next baby, but give it to someone who we know is having a baby and they could use it. Like people have done for us, like have given us
we've
diapers,
gotten a ton
clothes,
of stuff. I think there's like a joy that people get from giving stuff to parents that are expecting.
Yeah. It's just it's a different feeling of than just like giving someone clothes. It's like, no, you're actually giving stuff for their baby.
I mean, back when I was a kid and we were on the Oregon Trail traveling across country, my parents had very limited clothes for us. Most of my family obviously passed away from dysentery, but we had guys very limited
decked
clothing.
Out in clothes from your mom.
We looked like I was born in 94, and every picture from me looks like I grew up in like 84. Like, I'm in, like, these 80s styles clothes.
They're not.
A lot of them I was.
I feel like I haven't seen that many baby pictures of you. The one that I'm thinking of, you're in, like, a denim jacket or something, right?
Yeah. That's 80s.
Yeah, that's cute. No, I would dress our baby, in a denim jacket right now.
I was at the beach in a denim jacket in that photo.
Yeah, it's probably cold.
Could have been.
We also don't really have a name yet, so...
No.
Let us know if you got any good ones.
Maybe just keep calling him Cooper Jr. for now.
Yeah. I don't like the junior thing.
Yeah. Junior Mint.
Junior Mint. Oh my God.
Just Cooper Jr. for now. The other day I saw this video and it haunts me still thinking about this.
Oh God.
I was sitting there watching it, and I remember I was sitting on the couch and it came up and I had to turn my phone off and put it down because it haunts me. It was a plane full of people, and every person on this plane was singing Taylor Swift, like to the top of their lungs. Oh. And I just imagine being on that plane where every person starts singing Taylor Swift.
I think that would be a great experience.
You think so?
That would be magical.
Everybody on the plane?
You know, I have a bone to pick with you.
Okay, but I haven't even gotten to finish my story.
Okay, finish.
Like, I guess I'm pretty done, but like, I was just thinking like, I would have went and opened the emergency exit. I would have done one of those moves.
So I think we've
at 30,000 feet, pop open the emergency exit, pressurize the cabin.
Like, you're so dramatic.
It's pretty bad.
Cooper, if you don't know this, Cooper does not like music, and that's probably one of the weirdest things that I feel like how we mesh together, because when I'm by myself, I'm jamming out, singing, blasting music. Cooper can't do music. So I was actually thinking the other day how whenever we drive together, I don't put music on loud. Or I don't put music on at all.
You sing a lot when I'm in the car. No, you do sing. You do sing a little
lot. No, I'm not singing like the whole drive.
You do sing sometimes, though.
Okay, I don't do that a lot, Cooper.
But you do it sometimes.
Once in a blue moon. Okay, so whenever I'm very respectful, because Cooper has this thing, with music, it just like he's
I don't like music.
It just hurts my head, hurts my ears, whatever. But yet, your fucking little air contraption that you have,
a fan
that has to be on full blast all day, every day, and I've told you multiple times it annoys the shit out of me, yet I deal with it every day in my house.
It's a fan.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be on. It's this contraption that you've made.
It's not really much of a contraption.
Well, every time you look, it does have a lot of dirt in it. You have to point it out.
So we have 2 golden retrievers.
But think about that. That
are
rude.
Dirty.
I'm so respectful of you not liking that, and that fan noise irritates me.
But I don't tell you, like, if you're sitting in your office, you can't play music. Like, why don't you play music then? Why is it only in the car?
No, sometimes I do.
Yeah, not always.
I don't like listening to lyric musics when I'm working, but sometimes I'll put on like lo-fi beats. That's what I do.
Okay, but always when we're in the car, you suddenly have the urge to listen and sing to music.
I would put music on our TV, and when I'm like cleaning around the house or cooking, I would put music on and listen to it while I was in the house. And that probably will change when we have a baby, because we're going to have like Baby Shark doo-doo playing to freaking entertain him probably, and stuff like that. So that's probably going to change, but I don't do that because I know you don't like it.
He's listening to the History Channel from the day he's born.
From what?
History Channel from the day he's born.
From the day he's born?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, what are you
saying? As soon as you're born, History Channel, watch this World War II documentary. You learn.
Wow, yeah, I'm sure he's going to love that.
I mean, at a very young age, that's all I was listening to.
I'm just like, maybe you should think and be a little bit more considerate.
But there's a difference when we're in a confined space versus when there's a fan on and our 2 rooms over.
I feel confined.
It's 2 rooms down.
Yeah, and you have it on full blast, and it's all day.
It's a box
I don't
fan.
like it.
It's a box fan with a filter on it, guys. So if you understand what that may look like.
Yeah, it's a loud ass fan. It's not just like a ceiling fan.
Okay, well then.
Can I throw it out? Can I throw out your contraption?
It's a fan. What, are you just going to throw away a fan?
No, but the freaking box, and put the fan back in the garage. It does not need to be in the house. If you want something like that, then let's get an air filter, like an actual air filter.
No, I just wanted something that could move air around, like a fan does.
So we have ceiling fans in the house. Put those on.
They don't do the same. They're not the same. I want to horizontally move air from one room to another. In this heat, it is nice to have more air movement. It has been a heat wave in Florida.
I can't.
Well, speaking of music, the other day you asked me what our wedding song was, and you were like, you don't even know. And I was like, yeah, obviously I have no idea. But I could tell you the meatballs were delicious at our wedding. But I have physically zero idea. I don't know what the tune was. I don't know. Did I dance with you?
Yeah. I was like, can you even name the artist? Like, it's a girl. You actually just brought her up before.
Oh, was it Taylor Swift?
Yes.
Oh, God. So you supported the person that owned her music before her? How dare you?
I know. Wait, how did that get brought up, though? We were
talking
about watching
music.
The Bachelorette or something, and I was like...
You were watching, I was criticizing.
Yeah, we were watching The Bachelorette, and the guy, played the first song they had danced to or something at their next date, and I was like, oh, that's so special. You remember it, and then I was like, you don't even know what our wedding song is.
Yeah, in my defense, it's just a made-up song that you thought was good. It's not
there's lyrics behind it.
Yeah, but there's not any significance to it in our lives. It's just a song.
Yeah, Well, now there is. It was our wedding song that we danced to.
Can you remember my vows?
No.
Okay.
Can you remember mine?
No, you were crying the whole time. I couldn't even hear you.
No. It was not okay.
Man, I was like, this is a freaking woman dragging this out. Trying to collect herself and all this. I was like, come on, hurry it up.
I was emotional. That's rude.
It's like, hurry this up a little bit here.
I was trying. I couldn't stop crying. What do you want from me?
The other day, we finally went and saw a movie in the theaters. Finally.
Oh, this was a big... How far are we into this? We've just
36 minutes.
Okay.
We get past all the people that I couldn't get past the first stuff because a highly criticized movie somehow. Mm-hmm. The Sound of Freedom.
Can we talk about this seriously, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should. I think it's crazy that I made a post about it and some people are actually like angry about the movie.
Yeah.
And if you're angry about the people that made the movie, I mean, I guess that's one thing. But being angry about the content and how you don't think that it actually...
the message that it portrays, like...
Yeah, one guy commented, they were like, oh, there's all these documentaries and Republicans didn't care until now.
Well, maybe we should... if you don't know what we're talking about, it's a movie called The Sound of Freedom, and it's about... like child sex trafficking, and there's like a whole story about this brother and sister. The brother's younger and sister, and they're probably like 5 and 7 years old, and they basically get roped into sex trafficking, and then it's about this U.S. Marshal or something. Like, what would you call him?
No, he was
like
yeah. So it's a true story based on Tim Ballard, who actually dealt with all of this. He was a U.S. Homeland Security officer in California. And
it's a story about him basically realizing that a lot of the time, okay, they capture the...
They capture, like, the top,
predators.
Like, the end of the line.
Yeah, like, they capture the predators and the people who are doing it, but they don't really save the kids. Like, they don't find the kids. So he made it his mission to, like, go and actually save children and bring children home, which is, like, incredible. And what we should be focusing on, I think. And the story was just great and, like, really eye-opening, but really scary and, like, sad. And one thing that really hit me was, I feel like when you hear of that, I feel like you always think of a girl. Like, it's more so girls that it happens to. But the first story, it was all focused on the brother. What was that?
I don't know. Something just hit the door.
Should you go see?
No, it's probably an animal. Probably Bowser.
Yeah, what if it's an animal trying to get a chicken?
I didn't hear anything. Okay, we'll pause. I didn't see anything, but yeah, we're back.
Okay.
Rolling. So Bronte, quick tangent. Should we just say?
No.
Okay.
About what, the animals?
Yeah.
No, we'll talk about that after. But yeah, one of the things that really hit me in the movie was that the first story was about the boy, because it was a brother and sister, and they focused on like the boy at first. And I mean, bringing a boy into this world, I feel like you think that it's less likely to happen to them, but it's just as likely, which is scary for girls and boys. But just don't like knock out that it's only a thing that happens to girls. Like, it happens to little boys too.
And it's also like the story's based out of the U.S., but it's actually a very common thing in the U.S. Like, I know South Florida is like one of the largest human trafficking places in the world.
Yeah, they said credits at the end, and it was like, I think it said the U.S. is the #1 country for, like...
I don't know all the statistics on that. I know some stuff is a little questionable because, like, sometimes they consider things human trafficking when it's like... It's kind of like kidnapping. They're like, oh, this many children are kidnapped, but usually it's like... the father, took his child from like the mother and they're divorced and like they consider that kidnapping. So sometimes
but
statistics
does that
sure? That's for kidnapping, but sometimes statistics gets a little flawed. I don't want to downplay anything,
like,
but
that example would be connected with sex trafficking. No, kidnapping stuff.
Even like sex trafficking though, like some things that they consider it are a little hazy. They're not as like abducted a child.
Yeah.
Sometimes they consider it like prostitution when it's like a choice.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's just scary that we live in a world that's even a thing for kids. Like, I was saying to Cooper, like, you know, if you're older and that's what you want to do for your life and you want to be a sex worker, like, do it. Good for you. You're over 18. That's what you want to do for your life. Go for it.
But it's illegal in Florida.
To be like a prostitute?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just saying it's crazy that it's illegal.
Yeah, like if you're
it's legal
older,
out in like Nevada, per se.
Yeah, but like if you're older and that's what you want to do, fine. But children who do not have choices and they get forced into that and be taken away from their family, it's just like really disturbing to think about. And I don't know.
No, it's sad. It's a scary movie to watch and crazy and like very eye-opening.
That's the thing I
think everybody should watch it.
That's why I would encourage people to watch it, because it is very eye-opening. Like, it makes you think just a lot about trusting people in the world and doing what's best for your kids and, like, I don't know. Like, even the whole scene, how they got abducted, was this woman met the father and was like, oh, your kids would be really good for like this modeling agency that I'm doing. And this happened in like a different country, right? Yeah. And then he brings the kids to like the audition, and she's like, okay, like you can come back.
Like 10 other kids there too.
Yeah, and she was like, come back at 7 to pick them up. And then they weren't there. Like that just made me think, you know, I'll never bring our kid to something and not have my eyes on them the entire time.
And
like,
of course, like, you know, like a poor country, it's a lot easier to take advantage of people like that because like, you know.
Yeah, they're trying to, yeah.
Yeah, it was a poor country. Like he was clearly like
and it was
a poverty-ridden area.
And he was a single father too, because we never saw something about like the mom.
Yeah, that instance that they kind of gave. But yeah, of course, that makes it a little bit more easy to manipulate and dangerous in that situation. That's why a lot of kids are trafficked from poor countries to wealthy countries.
Yeah. And then they also showed, remember towards the beginning, those little scenes of like, I think they were actual clips.
Yeah, they were just
of kids just like yeah, literally like walking on the street, playing in the street, and someone just comes out and grabs them. And I've heard of like parents saying, you know, it's even worrisome who you trust to, you know, take your kids somewhere, because you want, like, whoever is taking our kids somewhere, whether it's like our family or a friend, like, I'm making sure to them, like, you have your eyes on this child 24/7, you know, like I'm grateful like James and Amber trust us with Jameson and Oakland and Carter, you know, like if I were to bring them anywhere, I would never let them be out of my sight in 1 second, you know, like things like that, because you never know.
Yeah, I mean, the whole movie kind of makes you sick watching it and just seeing what's happening and like knowing that, you know, obviously people have a lot of gripes about this movie. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say like the story is very made up and overinflated and all this, but like the end of the day, it is happening.
Yeah.
Like that story, like I had this discussion on my Instagram, on my Facebook with people. That story, in my opinion, can be 100% fake, and it's still good that it's bringing awareness.
Yeah.
I know the story is not fake. Obviously, it's a movie, so they will
over-exaggerate
draw
it a
up
little
some
bit.
things, but like what Tim Ballard actually did is true.
Yeah.
But it is crazy to think that that's actually happening. Also, shout out to him because he had, 7 kids in the movie? God damn.
Yeah, his family.
Seven kids on his own.
And in the movie, too,
wild.
there was one part he got, or actually, I don't know if I should give it away.
Yeah, don't give it away. Too many spoilers. I mean, it's a true story. He's had books. He's talked about this story for the last 10 years.
But basically, his wife was very in support of him going to, like, help these kids, which was really nice to see, too. And clearly, because they had like 7 kids, so they really cared about kids. And at the end, it said like he saved, like in real life, like 120 kids, which is incredible.
And then his organization saved like 1,000 or something. Like he personally saved a lot, and then collectively the organization, because he was a Homeland Security, so he was not supposed to be working out of the U.S.
Yeah,
he was kind of supposed to be in the U.S. working, which was a whole thing in itself. But yeah, the story is crazy. Definitely worth watching. There's a lot of back and forth on it.
I don't really understand why.
Crazy to me that people can be against going to see this movie.
Yeah.
there's a lot of different reasons I've found because I posted it on my Facebook and it got a lot of comments and reach. And some of the people, it's just crazy. Like you're basically against this movie. And some of the arguments were, oh, you didn't care about it until this movie came out, which is a weird argument because you're like, oh, do you not want me to care about it now?
Yeah, I think it's just bringing attention and awareness to this. Like, obviously, we all know what's going on in the world, but seeing a movie like that and seeing how it just brings more awareness to it. Like, and I think moving forward, it's something like, it's not that I didn't care about it before, but I think also now with bringing a kid into the world, it's something I want to, like, be more aware of and, like, share more things about it, like how we can help or if there's any, like, good organizations that help.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it also, like, a movie like this helps bring... Like there's something that you can share. Like, oh, this, like, go see it. Like, it helps bring immediate awareness. Like, there's just, like, general awareness. But this kind of brings, like, a point where you can, like, oh, look at this to get your foot in the door on, like, what's going on in the world.
Right.
Versus, like, oh, there's news articles all the time. Like, kind of just, like, more loosely referenced. Obviously, you can find more information if you want, but, like, this seems like a good, like, segue into everything. But I don't know. Some people are just crazy. Some people are very angry about it. They don't like the people that made the movie for various reasons, which I get that you can do that. You know, there's plenty of people in Hollywood I don't like and plenty of movies that I don't want to see because I don't like the people.
Yeah.
But that kind of it is what it is. I mean, there's not really much you can do about that. I think
but overall, I mean, we think that it's a really impactful and eye-opening movie that we would encourage you guys to go watch it and see it and learn from it. And
aside from that too, like, it's a good movie. There's good action scenes, good tension. Like, they had, like, it was well put together. Like, it was like, if that wasn't based on a true story, it's very similar to Taken. If that wasn't based on a true story, like, it's still, like, a very, like,
it's a good
like, emotional and, like, like, it's still, like, a well done movie. Yeah. Without, like, over the top stuff like every movie has now. Like, there's nobody was in space. Or doing something weird like that. There wasn't, like, immense CGI or anything.
Yeah, I agree.
But so that's it. Sound of Freedom, guys. You should go watch it, and we're gonna move on from there because it's a very sad, very sad, touchy subject.
Lighter topic.
My wife hates the environment.
What?
Let me explain.
What?
If you get takeout from somewhere and you're walking out after you just got takeout, and you're going home to eat, do you grab a plastic fork or knife?
Yes.
Why?
I do.
Why? You're going home.
First off, I'm paying for my meal from this place. They're already giving me a bowl, a plastic lid, whatever else. So I can't just grab a fork?
I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
No, but you're saying it's wrong. So let me
environmentally.
Let me just tell my reasons as to why I do that. So I pay for my food at this place. Like, I'm going to grab a fork. Like, you supply the food and you supply the utensils. Then how about I'm saving money from using our water at home to wash a fork and a knife when I could just grab the fork at the place, a plastic fork.
What's worse for the environment? 20 seconds of hot water running or a plastic utensil getting thrown away? 2 plastic utensils.
I mean, probably the plastic utensil, but, like,
does it really make it better to eat it with a plastic utensil?
Okay, you guys have to agree, and there is this thing that, for example, Chipotle, something about eating with their forks is a different experience than eating Chipotle with a metal fork at home. Like, you just have to get the Chipotle fork. It's a thing. That's how I feel about when we got Fresh Kitchen last night. Like, I just want the plastic fork. It's just a different experience.
That's crazy to me because, like, you guys well know I'm not, like, an environmentalist or a tree hugger or anything like that. But I I dislike single-use plastic, as I sit here with my water bottle, and you with your...
Yeah, but usually I have my Stanley cup. How about that?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that you don't, but I just personally, I dislike... If I can get rid of a little bit of single-use plastic on my day-to-day, I'm happy. I just don't like it. I've been to landfills. They're very sad. Like, I hate that. And I understand that it's a very small drop in the bucket, but, like, it just seems so, like...
That's the whole conversation. I feel like people always say, you do these small things and it makes a bigger difference. But to me, I kind of feel like, I don't know, this is kind of me just saying this, like... bigger things make a bigger impact. Like, I feel like me using a plastic fork once a week, like, there's something bigger I could do. Even just me, myself. Like, there probably is something bigger I could do weekly to help the environment.
It's why I stopped using toilet paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps.
Stinks
Helps the environment. It's for the environment. It is for
Our
the
bed
environment.
Stinks.
Yeah.
But yeah, what could I do? That's, I mean, if I took half the time of a shower, like, wouldn't that make more of a difference? Like, water than...
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely make more of a difference. And, not keeping it as cold in our house, that would make more of a difference.
Or how we don't throw out food. We give it to the chickens and we have a compost. Like, I feel like that makes a bigger difference than me using a plastic fork once a week.
But that doesn't mean that they both can't be a thing.
No, I know, but it's like when I want to have a plastic fork with my meal that I ordered from this place that I paid for, I supported this business, and I just want a plastic fork.
Yeah, it just seems like we're already able to use a metal one because you're going home, that you might as well just do that. And I get your take on this. I understand it. And it's funny because I was just reading that the other day where in New York City, if you get takeout, you have to specifically ask to get utensils now.
Is it raining?
I don't think so.
I thought I heard something.
You have to specifically ask to get utensils, which to me is crazy that government steps in and they're like, oh, you can't just give out sauce and utensils unless they ask. That should just be something that the business can decide.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of,
I think regardless... What was my point on it? I was like, if you don't ask, they're not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
So regardless, you should be asking.
Yeah, but not really. I think it's often assumed that if you order like Chinese food takeout while you're at your office, it's going to come with a plastic fork.
I would just always think to ask. Like,
imagine it showed up though, and you forgot to ask. And it just doesn't have any silver utensils.
Yeah, then I'd be like, shit, I forgot to ask for utensils. I wouldn't blame it on the business. I would say I forgot to ask you for utensils.
I get it, but I guess, like, I don't know. It's weird that had to be stepped in, like, government.
Yeah.
Like, the mayor has to step in and be like, no more giving out forks. Yeah. It's dangerous.
I think it's just like I went and picked up food the other day, and I ordered my food, and she was like, do you want utensils? And I was like, yeah, Yeah. Like, it is nice when they ask, but if they didn't ask, I wouldn't expect them, and I didn't say anything, I wouldn't expect them to put utensils in.
The place you bought that onesie from yesterday was 10 cents for a plastic bag, for a paper bag.
Yeah, what was up with that?
They do that now to try to help the environment, to try to steer people away from getting bags.
That's so weird. Like,
they do it in Montauk, too.
No, I know, but I haven't heard of it here. That's why I was actually...
It's up to the business. They get to choose.
Like, I'm in the mall. I'm not going to walk around holding all my clothes in my hand. Like,
well, if you have, like, a bag that you could just put it in.
Yeah, which, okay, that's the case, but... So let me go get a free bag from this store, and then I'll come to you. And
that's what they do on Long Island, where we're from. It's 5 cents for a bag, and they don't have plastic bags. It's all paper. Mm-hmm. So it has forced a lot of people to start using reusable bags.
Yeah.
But in my opinion... I still don't think that should be the government's decision. I think that should be up to the individual stores.
I agree.
If you want to charge for bags, I think that's a great incentive because nobody wants to pay 5 cents for a bag.
Yeah.
It's a great incentive, but I don't think it should be forced.
But at the same time, do people really blink an eye if it's like 10 cents for a bag,
Some people don't.
It's not like it's like $1 for a bag. If it was $1, I'd be like, no.
I think it's the principle. I think people get frustrated by it. They're like, I don't want to have to pay for this bag.
True.
And it's kind of like, even like with cans and sodas and stuff, you pay like a 5 cents. Like you pay 5 cents extra in a lot of states for your drink because you can get that 5 cents back when you recycle it. So like instead of like a soda being like $1, it's $1.05. And then you can get that 5 cents back by recycling.
Yeah.
Which is a very annoying way to do it. But they're just trying to force incentive to recycle. But then when you do things like that, then you have homeless people collecting cans on the street in droves and pushing stolen shopping carts around with piles of cans like you see in New York City.
Their 5 cents.
Pooping on the sidewalk and all that kind of fun stuff.
You know, me and my dad saw that once in the subway. Oh my God. We were walking down the subway.
You know, it's completely common. If anybody lives in California or New York.
But I had never seen that before in my life. We were going down the stairs to the subway. This was a while ago, too. But we were going down the stairs, and right at the bottom of the stairs, there was, I don't know if it was a man or a woman, like leaned up against the wall, like their butt back, just pooping down the wall.
People in New York City like don't even use the subway anymore. People like avoid it.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad that like it's just like they're the two major cities in the U.S. New York City and L.A.
But L.A.
San
doesn't
Francisco
have a subway.
Too. No, they don't. But their public transport is also pretty sketchy.
But London has, they call it the Tube.
The Underground.
Yeah, or the Tube, the Underground. And I think that's very nice.
Yeah, I guess that they're doing something right in London. Yeah. Well, there was a time in New York City where I think it was Giuliani was very strict on homeless. He was strict on a lot of things, but homeless was one of them, and it was cleaned up. He got people out of the city. Like cops would come in middle of the night, grab people, you're out of here.
I think it's interesting how I think New York City has changed a lot. My dad lives outside of the city now, but he lived in the city his entire life, like for the last 40, 50 years. And now he's like, it's gotten so bad that he moved to Jersey. But it still always interests me how people still live there and they still are like, it's the best city in the world. It's the coolest city. It's the best, you know, even with all that's going on, which is very interesting to me. So I don't like to fully knock on New York City because I think there is still really cool, good things about it. It's just unfortunate.
I feel like
the other things.
People often have a vested interest if they live somewhere to hype it up. Because, like, you're trying to make it sound more alluring than it is. Because, like, nobody wants to be like, oh, I live in the worst place ever. Some people do that, but like,
I think New York City, even with all the problems they have, there still is so many cool things that almost override it, where people are like, it's still worth it. Most people are like, it's still worth it to live here, even with this.
Yeah, like I'll accept all of the nastiness.
Exactly, because it comes with all these other amazing things.
And the rats that are the size of alligators.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, there was a time when it was clean, though. But unfortunately, the clean came with a lot of questionable other policies. Giuliani, the same guy, had a stop and frisk rule, which gave the cops the ability to stop any person on the street and frisk them for, like, drugs or weapons, which is very questionable.
Yeah.
Because 80% of the people that they stopped and frisked were not white. The cops were racially profiling.
Yeah, it's not okay.
Not cool. So they got rid of that altogether.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree that it should have ever been a thing. I think that that's a huge invasion of privacy. If a cop just stopped me on the street, just walking down the street, and they were like, put your hands on the wall, we're going to pat you down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, you better finger my butthole because this is going to be a full deal here.
Ew.
You're not getting off that easy, bud.
Oh,
like, you'd at least, like, hint to them that there's something up there. So, like,
might want to check the keystring.
Exactly, like the prison wallet. You better figure. Oh, you better go all the way. Maybe take me out to dinner too.
Oh, jeez.
But all my grandfathers were NYPD police when I was growing up, so I spent a lot of time around that. They told me stories from 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, into the 2000s of being police officers in New York City and like what it was like. And it was not gentle when they were cops either.
Yeah.
A couple of them were transit. One of them was Harlem. One of them was a mounted police officer that was riot control, which he was on a police horse. And like when a riot would break out, he'd have to go out there with his baton and just hit people to get them to like stop protesting and rioting.
That's crazy.
It's pretty crazy in itself, you know? Just whack.
It's also crazy to me how New York City policemen don't make as much as like policemen do out where we grow up.
Yeah, well, they're also not allowed to do much. Like, you can't do anything about the homeless problem. Like, same with like if you're a police officer and you see like a homeless man, you know, pooping on the street, you're not allowed to do anything.
Yeah,
that is acceptable.
That's the thing my dad was saying. He was like, my dad literally told me this story once where there was a homeless guy on the corner of the street literally shooting up heroin. And he went over to the cop and was like, hey, like, this guy's doing this. And the cop was like, yeah,
that's what happens.
Nothing I can do.
Yeah. So, like...
But they do cover, like, I mean, okay, they're not doing that, but I think they have way more things going on than out east.
Yeah, they write tickets if you have illegal tint on your car.
Yeah, literally, like they just...
You got them.
Police out there just write tickets, and apparently they make so much more than New York City cops.
Well, they all just write tickets.
Yeah.
That's mostly what cops do. They don't want to actually fight real crime.
Yeah.
They want to write tickets.
That's what I mean. Like, New York City cops, I feel like, fight real crime.
No, well, they write tickets mostly. They don't stop the guy that's shooting up heroin because he doesn't have any money.
Like, if there's, like, a shooting or an accident, like, that happens way more. You know, a fight or something. That happens way more in New York City than... Or, like, a robbery.
No, they don't do anything for robberies. If somebody broke into your business and grabbed something and ran off, they don't do anything.
Really?
No. You could see that in California, too. There's people that just, like... They just, like, do the smash and grabs.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And the cops are just like, yep.
Why is that? I saw a video. It was like this guy in a Walgreens or something stealing. It was one of those sections that was like locked off. I think I showed you.
Yeah.
He was like he had like the whole thing like burning it, then getting it out, and he was stealing everything. And people are just standing there. Like they just let them do that.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to do anything.
And I saw a video actually the other day. People going into a Gucci store in a mall, just like running out with shit.
Well, there was a story the other day about
why don't they do anything?
Employee at a Lululemon that got fired because they called the cops on somebody that was stealing. They tried to stop somebody that was stealing.
When you're not supposed to.
You're just supposed to let them go.
Why?
It's just a crazy world.
I don't understand. And that's like anywhere, I feel like, right now.
Yeah.
Like someone could just go into our mall and steal a store and the employees just stand there and don't do anything.
Yep. And they don't get in trouble for it. They just get to walk away.
That's so bad that this is being like put out on the internet. So people are seeing like, oh shit, I could just go do that. Yeah. I mean, like you're on camera and you're going to probably like the police will come after to get you.
No.
I don't get that.
You're pretty much just in the clear. It's pretty lawless out there. It's like the wild, wild west.
Yeah,
but
I really don't
in the Wild West, if somebody broke into your business and tried to steal something, pull out your 6-shooter and put them down. If you do that, you're the bad guy.
Wait, what if they have like a gun at you? Is that different than them just like taking things?
Well, guns are illegal in California, so they wouldn't have one.
Okay, but anywhere. Like, is that more...
It's the same. No, it's the same.
Because I feel like most people are just going into a store with, like, their hood on and a bag and just shoving their bag. They don't have, like, a gun to people.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Like, a gun to people. But if you have a gun to people... like,
yeah, you don't need one. You just take stuff.
But I'm saying, are the cops able to handle it differently if someone goes in at gunpoint?
It's all the same. It's all the same. They just let it happen. It's kind of just like a normal thing now, like watching people steal stuff and run away. Yeah, but then crazy. It's crazy too. Like the Walgreens that you're talking about is a common one I think it's in LA or San Francisco, but it's like a common one that always gets robbed from. And if they closed it down, people would also be very mad. Mm-hmm. So like the community would be mad if it closed down, yet it just gets robbed from every day.
Yeah.
So like, what is it? You're just gonna let me keep losing money?
Something with a Walmart.
Yeah.
What was it?
Like 5 or 8 of the Walmarts in Chicago area closed, and all the community was mad, but they were losing so much money because everything was just getting stolen from.
Yeah.
So like, people were like, "Oh, how do I get my pharmaceuticals?" It's like, well, you should have been, the community should have been better. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, close down. That's how capitalism works. If an area isn't making you money, close the store.
Yeah.
Like, it's just normal.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to wrapping it up here. I wanted to quickly talk about recent podcasts. The one with Garrett did very good. Very excited about that. Thank you guys so much for watching that one and all the great comments and support. I always have a self-reflection after podcasts. You always see it.
Yeah.
I always have like an internal debate after a podcast like that. Like, I walk away and I'm like, oh, like I don't think that was good. Like, I don't think I asked the right things. Like, I didn't have the right topics. Like, I talked too much. I didn't let him talk enough. Like, always. I always have this existential crisis every time after a podcast. And that was a big one, because that's one of my main worries with having guests on that have a lot going on, that are very like usually when I have a guest on, they're like kind of focused on like one topic in this world. Like they do one thing or another. But he has so much that I'm like, I hope I can do it justice. Yeah. In an hour and 40 minutes. I think he's definitely
someone that like you're just going to have to do a few with. But I was thinking about this as well. And I feel like with like people, I mean, you could do this with anyone that you have on, but like, especially maybe some of your like good friends, like, I mean, especially Garrett, like, I feel like you should ask him, be like, is there anything you think I could have done better or differently? Like, is there something you would have enjoyed more, like coming on? Is there something you didn't like? Yeah. Did you feel like I talked too much? Like, I would love some constructive criticism. Like, I think that's great because it's just going to make you better. And I mean, I think you guys talked equally and he talked a lot. I know you just, and I said this to you already, but I don't think you were like talking too much or anything. I just wonder if he maybe thought like, oh, I would have liked to talk about this, or, maybe, I don't know, like I would just ask, like even like Kyle Boosted Boys, like, ask him like, how was your experience? What would you have any? How was your experience coming on my podcast?
Do I turn the iPad with a tip on there too?
Yeah, like rate all these things. Like, can you fill out this form, please? Like rating your experience. Yeah. No, but actually, because your friends and people around you are the ones who are gonna, like, I give you constructive criticism all the time, and sometimes I'm real and we're harsher with each other. Like, I'm like,
the comments are pretty harsh on me too. Sometimes.
Yeah, true. And sometimes I'm like, I agree with what they were saying, Yeah. And then you learn from it.
Of course, and I'm always trying to be better at this and better at conversations, better topics, questions, whatever it is.
But of course, I think it's important to listen to like the fans who are commenting, but I think it's even more important to like ask the people who know you and like really genuinely care about you and your success to be like, hey, is there any thoughts you have that I could do to make this better? Like, I honestly would love to hear if Garrett had any like thoughts on like, oh, I think you could do this, because he's a great businessman, like I would have.
He would almost probably have to listen to it back in a way. Because when you're in the conversation, it's hard to really think critically of the conversation. You're more thinking in the moment. Yeah,
of course. But like if he does like go and, maybe skips through and listens to parts here and there and he's like, oh, I wish like that was, maybe that could have been different. I would love to hear what he has to say. Like, I think that's important.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a tough, it's harder than I thought, I guess, when I first started. But it's more fun than I am ever imagined it would be.
It's never going to be perfect, though.
No, definitely not.
So, like, you're doing the best that you can, and you just keep getting better as you go. And
yeah. You never know the direction it's going to go either. Like when I start, I don't know any of the, like, I don't really know where it's going to end up or what we're going to talk about.
That's where I've told you that I feel like you need a little bit more structure. And I feel like, because now you're saying it like, oh, I don't know where it's going to go. And then it goes here. But now, like, was that bad? Did I talk too much? Did I ramble about this? But if you had more structure, maybe afterwards you'd be like, oh, good, I got to all my topics. Yeah. I feel good about it. I asked the questions. He talked a lot. It would feel like a script. No, but just like, I mean, you kind of do have your topics when you go into it, but just a little bit more so that you don't feel after like, oh, was I talking too much? Was I all over the place, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely, I don't know. I definitely get that. And then even more recently, I just had John on. Jonathan Whitaker is his name, and that was a pretty cool one too if you guys haven't seen that one. We talked about power plants and all kinds of stuff because he works at a power plant and he's worked at nuclear power plants and all kinds of things, renewable energy. Mm-hmm. That was a very interesting one as well, but just kind of wanted to talk about those real quick because it's kind of nice to do that. Recap them a little bit with you because I don't get to like recap them with the guest and you after, but I do always look at them critically and think how it could be better or change in any way. Good. Even though I don't want to really change anything because I like the format. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I do wish is just longer. Like some people
I disagree with. I like an hour and a half podcast at most.
I think that's a good length, but some people like I could just hang out with for like 5 hours.
But I think it makes it more exciting, like
for sure.
You can have other episodes. I imagine you sat down with Garrett this first time and talked for 5 hours. Then maybe you'd be like, oh, I went over every topic. Like, I don't know what we'd talk about the next one.
Well, like him and like Kyle, I know will be back on, and like there's plenty of people that will definitely be back on. But yeah, I guess that's about it. If you guys haven't seen those podcasts, go check them out. The one with me and Garrett, that was a really top tier one of my favorites. But that's gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bronte, any closing words?
Nope, that was a good one.
Go watch The Sound of Freedom.
Watch The Sound of Freedom. I liked all the topics we talked about. I think it's a good little podcast session.
Yeah, we didn't talk about our chickens though.
Oh yeah, we lost 2 chickens.
2 of our best layers.
Yeah, 2 of our big gray ones. So R.I.P.
I think it was a bobcat that's getting them, or I think it's a bobcat because it's getting over a chain link fence, and I think a bobcat would be able to do that with a chicken. Mm-hmm. And it's happening in like broad daylight too, so there's not much I can do.
Yeah, it's happened in the morning at like 7:30 in the morning. So.
Broad daylight. He scratched it. But that'll do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Keep us Aussie. We'll see you next time.